everyone, and welcome to Fun with Fitzy. We are now starting Chapter 6. This is going to be 6.1. Today's topic is the journal. We're going to get into source documents in the next video. Okay, so the journal is what we're looking at today. It is one of the easiest lessons, I would say, so sit back and enjoy. This is accounting paper. It's journal paper, and you will notice at the top it says General Journal. Sometimes the General Journal can be shortened to GJ, the General Journal. Okay? We're going to talk about what the journal is first, and then we're going to talk about how to use this paper. Recording transactions like we've been doing all along directly into T accounts, or the ledger, is only possible when there are a limited number of transactions and a limited number of counts. As the complexity of the business increases, transactions would get spread over pages and pages of ledger accounts. To centralize the recording of transactions, accountants use another book called a journal. Remember how I said a ledger is a book of accounts? Well, the journal is also a book in the olden days. We actually use computers right now, but in the olden days, it was actually a book called the journal. A journal is a book in which accounting entries for all transactions are first recorded before they are recorded in the ledger accounts. Okay, so we went right to the T accounts, but we are actually learning a step ahead. We're now going to take a step back and learn what actually comes first. Each transaction is recorded separately in chronological order. Okay, chronological means in order of time, or the dates. The journal provides a continuous record of all transactions. Just like a journal or a diary would be a record of someone's life and feelings, a journal is a record of all the transactions for a business. And it is sometimes referred to as the book of original entry because it is the first place where we should record all transactions. Okay, so a journal entry is a business transaction. Each business transaction is one journal entry. The simplest type of journal is the two-column general journal, which is the paper I just showed you. It has two money columns, one for the debit amounts and one for the credit amounts. It is easy to visually verify that each transaction balances. The debit entry equals the credit entries. As always, debits equal credits, no matter what. Left equals right. The accounting entries for the transactions are referred to as journal entries, and we talked about this already. You should be aware of the term journalizing. Journalizing is the process of recording accounting entries in the journal. So let's take a look at it. How do we do it? What are the steps? Before you begin, you need to record the general journal page number. The pages are numbered consecutively. So here is page 16. If you were to fill up this page and then go on to the next page, you would use 17. Now take note. Only use page 1 when it is the opening of a business. So for all activities we're going to do, you will probably not use page 1 unless the opening journal entry says something like this. The owner invested cash and a truck into his business at the start of the business. Okay, so page 1 of a journal is designated for when the company starts. But for all other exercises, if it's the middle, if I'm asking you to do journal entries just for a business, start with something other than page 1. Next, record the year in small figures on the first line of each page. So watch the year go in. The year goes on the top of every page, and if the year changes in the middle of one page, you start the new year. You only write the year once, though, at the top of the page. Now enter the day in the date column. You'll see the date column is over here. Include the month on the first line, so the month would go here in this box, and the day of the month goes in here. Okay, do not repeat the month. It says that right here. Do not repeat the month for each entry. So if this is July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, by the way, that's my birthday, July 3rd, you don't need to repeat the word July. As a matter of fact, I'm asking you not to. Enter a new month at the point when it occurs. So if it was now August, then you would write August in here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. The year goes here, then the month, then the day. Okay, the next step, step 2, enter the name of the account that you're going to debit. And you do this right at the left side of the particulars column. So here's the particulars column, here's the left margin. It's going to go right against the left margin. Okay, and then you're going to enter the amount of the debit in here. And remember, this is for the cents. These are the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, just like we were doing on that first paper we learned. So for example, if we bought supplies, we're going to debit it. So it's the first account and it's right against the margin, and the amount, $135, goes in the debit column. How do we get these supplies? Well, this is the credit part. Enter the name of the account to be credited second. Debit always comes first, credit always comes second. And indent it. Indent it far enough so I can tell it's indented. Okay, use a finger space. Put your finger here and show me that it is big enough for your finger to fit there. Okay, there it is. So we're crediting bank. Bank, so we debited supplies, credited bank, and the amounts go in the correct columns. Indent bank. And always indent your credit, and the credit comes second. The next step is you're going to write a brief explanation for the entry, beginning at the left side of the particulars column again. Okay, I don't want an essay here. I just want purchase supplies for cash. Or if you actually had an invoice or source document number, you would put that there. Notice how we are now starting the next transaction. We've put the 12 here, and we're going to start again. So here's the whole journal entry. Remember, the debited account goes first, and it's right against this margin. And in this case, there are 2 accounts that have been credited, and they're indented. Remember to leave the space here, your finger space, so I can clearly see that it's indented. So let's decide what happened here. Equipment is debited, that means it went up. So we got more equipment for $12,000. Obviously, accounts payable is going up because we're crediting it by $10,000. So, and bank is going down because we're crediting bank. So we paid $2,000 cash and we owe $10,000 later. Keep in mind, our debits always equal our credits in accounting, right? So our $12,000 equals this $12,000, always. Then the next step is to put your explanation here. If your explanation takes 2 lines, that's fine. In this case, I would have just said purchased equipment on account and partially paid cash. Skip a line, and then your next journal entry would go here, and so on. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. So by now, you should be able to explain what a journal is, a book of original entry used to record journal entries, and why it is used, and be able to journalize following those steps. Do not deviate from those steps.